After watching this video, you will never look at your life, your habits, or your identity the same way again. You'll understand the hidden rules your father never taught you, the rules that separate men who struggled their whole lives from men who walk with silent, unshakable authority. This is not motivational fluff. This is not be positive advice. This is Machiavellian psychology, the psychology of power, strategy, dominance, and deep self-control. So before we begin, write this in the comments. I choose transformation over comfort. Let's begin. 1. The lie you were raised in. Most men today were raised to feel safe, not strong, to be agreeable, not influential, to avoid conflict, not master it. You were taught to be a good man, but not a powerful one. Your father may have told you to work hard, to be respectful, to stay out of trouble. Those lessons shaped you, but they also limited you. He taught you how to survive. He didn't teach you how to win. He didn't teach you how to read people's intentions, how to sense danger before it arrives, how to protect yourself from manipulation, how to carry yourself like a man whose life has direction and gravity. And so, you walked into adulthood unarmed. You expected honesty. You expected fairness. You expected loyalty. But the world rewarded none of those things. You discovered that powerful men aren't the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who understand human nature and use it wisely. That is the painful truth no father prepared you for. 2. The price of being raised too soft. A soft upbringing feels loving until life punches you in the mouth. You were told, be humble, be helpful, be available, be the nice guy. But nice guys get drained. Nice guys get ignored. Nice guys get used. If you grew up hearing, don't be difficult, you probably became passive without realizing it. You don't ask for what you want. You tolerate disrespect. You keep the peace even when the peace is killing you. This is the invisible wound of millions of men. Your father didn't mean harm. He simply passed down what he knew. But you're paying the price. 3. You were raised to serve, not to lead. Your childhood trained you to be helpful. Machiavellian psychology teaches you to be valuable. Those are not the same thing. A helpful man is replaceable. A valuable man is rare. A helpful man bends his life around others. A valuable man sets the tone. He chooses where his time goes. He chooses who gets access to him. He chooses his priorities without guilt. Ask yourself, are you living your life for yourself or for the expectations etched into you since childhood? Most men don't know because nobody taught them to question the script. 4. The first Machiavellian rule: see reality without emotion. Your father probably taught you to see the world through morality, not strategy. Life isn't a fairy tale. The world rewards power, clarity, discipline, and emotional control. Every time you overreact, someone gains leverage over you. Every time someone can predict your emotions, you become manipulatable. A Machiavellian man is not cold-hearted. He is cold-minded. He sees clearly. He waits. He calculates. He does not react. He responds. This is the skill that separates men who get used from men who cannot be controlled. 5. Why you struggle with confidence and don't know why. Confidence isn't about hype or loudness. It is built from one thing: self-trust. But how can you trust yourself when you were never taught to depend on yourself? How can you walk tall when your entire childhood conditioned you to shrink, to obey, to fit in? Confidence is not a personality trait. It is a skill your father never taught you because nobody taught him either. A Machiavellian man builds confidence through controlled isolation, silent discipline, small wins repeated daily, boundaries that protect his time, the refusal to be easily accessed, emotional distance from chaos. When a man practices these things, confidence becomes automatic. 6. Why you give too much and get too little. Deep inside you is a fear no man admits openly. The fear of being abandoned, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being rejected. This fear makes you overgive, over-explain, overcommit, overinvest. You try to earn respect by doing more, but Machiavellian psychology teaches power comes from doing less, but doing it with intention. When a man stops chasing approval, people start chasing him. 7. How people secretly judge you. Here's the brutal truth. People don't judge you by your intentions. They judge you by your boundaries. A man with no boundaries is treated like a toy. A man with strong boundaries is treated like a force. Your father raised you to be polite. Life demands that you be structured. Without structure, you will always be used by those who have it. 8. The silent shift. How men become powerful without saying a word. Powerful men do not talk their way into power. They position themselves into it. They speak less. They move slower. They respond selectively. They maintain an air of unpredictability. They guard their inner world private. They guard their time like treasure. This presence is magnetic. It intimidates weak men. It attracts strong alliances. It commands respect without force. This is the presence your father never taught you to cultivate, but you can learn it now. Part 1 ends here. In Part 2, we go even deeper. Before we continue, comment this: I choose transformation over tradition.
9. The shift from boyhood to sovereignty. Most men are physically grown but psychologically stuck. Why? Because no one taught them the transition from boyhood to sovereignty. A boy needs permission. A man makes decisions. A boy seeks approval. A man builds a life worth respecting. A boy reacts emotionally. A man responds strategically. Sovereignty is not about dominance over others. It is dominance over yourself. And that is the one thing most fathers fail to teach. 10. The power of strategic withdrawal. You were raised to keep giving effort even when someone disrespects you. But Machiavellian wisdom teaches, when respect drops, access drops. Pull back, withdraw your presence, not to punish, but to protect your value. When a man isn't afraid to walk away, he becomes unstoppable. Most men cling. A powerful man releases. 11. Your father taught you hard work, not power positioning. Working hard makes you tired. Positioning yourself makes you powerful. Your father told you, do your best, stay humble, don't make noise. But the world rewards those who are visible, strategic, political, and intentional. Hard work is useful. Power positioning is transformational. A Machiavellian man knows, it's not what you do, it's where you do it and how others perceive it. 12. Why you fear saying no. You fear saying no because you were taught that a man's worth is measured by how much he tolerates. This makes you overcommitted, drained, resentful, disrespected. Saying no is not cruelty. It is the first act of self-sovereignty. And when people get angry at your boundaries, that only proves why those boundaries were needed. 13. Personal power comes from selective exposure. Not everyone deserves to know you. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your thoughts, emotions, or availability. Your father may have taught you to be open, but openness without discernment destroys you. A powerful man is accessible to many, reachable by few, understood by almost none. Mystery is currency. Scarcity is leverage. Controlled exposure is power. 14. Why you keep losing respect in relationships. Respect is lost in silence, not in conflict. You lose respect when you explain yourself too much. You respond too quickly. You justify your decisions. You tolerate disrespect. You stay when you should walk away. Relationships don't die from arguments. They die from one person losing respect. And respect is regained not through words, but through changed behavior and stronger boundaries. 15. Your greatest weakness is emotional predictability. If someone can predict your reactions, they can control you. Most men explode, panic, cling, or fold. A Machiavellian man does none of that. He observes, he absorbs, he analyzes, he waits. He does not respond to pressure, he applies it. This is the psychological advantage that changes everything. 16. Why you don't know who you are. Your identity was shaped by other people's expectations, your father's fears, your mother's anxieties, your culture's standards, your peer group's insecurities. But who are you when all of that is stripped away? A powerful man defines himself. He creates his identity intentionally. This takes solitude, deep reflection, ruthless honesty. Machiavelli teaches, a man who does not know himself is a man controlled by others. 17. The path of necessary selfishness. You were taught that selfishness is wrong, but there is a difference between destructive selfishness and necessary selfishness. Necessary selfishness means protecting your goals, rejecting distractions, keeping your energy focused, refusing emotional parasites, choosing your path without guilt. Your father may have taught you kindness, but he rarely taught you selective kindness. Kindness without boundaries is self-destruction. 18. You need an internal code, not external permission. The most dangerous men in history were not violent. They were governed by a personal code. Clear rules, non-negotiable standards, lines no one crosses, not even themselves. This internal code replaces the need for permission. Most men have no code. They float through life improvising. They crumble under pressure. They follow the crowd. A Machiavellian man has structure. That is why he cannot be manipulated. 19. The final shift. Becoming the man your father couldn't teach you to be. Your father gave you what he could, but this world demands more. Your father's tools were for survival. Yours must be for sovereignty. He raised you to be safe. You must raise yourself to be powerful. He gave you the foundation. You must build the fortress. He gave you advice. You must create strategy. You are not behind because of him. You are behind because you haven't stepped into the man you were meant to become. Until now. If you've made it this far, you are not average. You are not soft. You are not finished. You are beginning your evolution. Write this in the comments. I am becoming who I was meant to be. And remember, a man who transforms himself transforms his destiny.